morning, Colts. Today for our quick practice, we're going to spend some time expanding numbers out. And if we were in school, I would have my secret code cards, right? Which are cards that have, I might have like the 30 and the 5. And then if I put those together, we would have 35. But because I don't have those cards, we're going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to do a 2-digit number here. I'll do 35 again. 35. And then I'm going to ask you to stop and think. 35 is 30 and 5, right? If I took the 30 and 5 and I put them together, it would be 35. Let's do a couple more. So 16 is 10 and 6. 42 is 40 and 2. Now it's your turn. 67 is, you might have said 60 and 7. 92 is 90 and 2. And 39 is 30 and 9. Good. So what you're going to need today is, if you have a whiteboard at home, great. If not, you're going to need some paper and a pencil. And that's about it today. So go ahead and I'm going to pause the video and go ahead and grab what you need and come right back. All right, now that you've got what you need, we're going to continue on with adding double-digit numbers, and we're going to keep going with that story about David and Sarah and their orchard and what they picked for each day. So on this day, excuse me, Sarah picked 48 apples and David picked 37 apples. And before I do anything, I'm going to write the equation. Now the equation can be written horizontally like this. 48 plus 37 equals something. Or it could be written vertically like this. 48 plus 37 equals something. Remembering that when we write it vertically, we have to line up the ones and line up the tens and then go ahead and do the plus sign and do the equals line. And we talked yesterday about how to do a quick draw in order 10 sticks and ones in order to solve these problems, which is one of many ways you can solve problems. Today I'm going to show you another way also, but I want you to know that just like in class, you need to use what works best for your brain. And especially the first time through, it's always good to try something, but then go back to what works best for your brain until something new works best for your brain. So I'm going to start with quick draw. So I'm going to draw out 48, 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I made sure that I use structure, right? I have a group of 5 ones and then the extras, I have the 10s all together. Now I'm going to do the 37 and I'm going to put that quick draw right underneath this quick draw because it just helps me to keep it organized. So 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. And when I do that and I use structure, it's super easy for me to be able to see that I've got 2 groups of 5, which is another 10. And I'm going to just draw my line right through there to make my giant, but still 10 stick. And then I can go ahead and I can count what I have to figure out how many apples they picked all together. So count it with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm going to pause. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, and the answer is 85. So that's one way to solve the problem. But I'm going to show you another way, and this is a way that is probably pretty familiar to your parents. So if you do it this way, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about, although we use a little bit of different terminology than they used when your parents were in school and when I was in school. But here we have the same equation, right? We have 48 plus 37. And I'm going to go ahead and add this, and I'm going to add this by place value. So first I'm going to add the ones, and then I'm going to add the tens all together, right? So I'm going to add the ones first, just like I did over here. These were all the ones. 8 plus 7. So I can say 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and my answer is 15. But here's the problem. I can't put a 2-digit number in the ones place. There's only one digit there. So I'm going to take the number 15 that I got from adding the 8 and the 7 together, and I'm going to take these ones and I'm going to put them here, those 5 ones, and I'm going to take this 10 and I'm going to put it on top with all the rest of the 10s. It's just like I did over here. I made this into a 10 and I counted it with all the rest of the 10s. Instead of doing that, I'm just going to put my extra 10 above. And remember, when we count these, this is the tens place. So we're going to count these, but know that these are, it's not 1, 1, it's 1, 10. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tens is 80, and I get the answer 85. So 2 different ways to solve the same problem. We're going to solve one together, and I'm going to walk you through the steps using both methods. So get your pencil and your paper ready. I'm going to just change these numbers today. And let's say Sarah picked 17 apples, and David picked 24 apples. Okay, so there's the numbers. Let's first write the problem horizontally. So I'm going to write, and you go ahead and do it at the same time, 17 plus 24 equals something. Go ahead and get that on your paper. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause it. Great. Now I'm going to write the same problem vertically. We're just going to leave it to the side. So 17 plus, then I'm going to make sure I'm lined up here, 24, the ones are lined up and the tens are lined up, equals something. All right, go ahead and write that on your paper. Pause the video if you need to. All right, so let's start with a quick draw. So I'm going to quick draw out the 17 first, and I'm going to make sure, and you do the same thing, make sure you use structure. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 for Sarah's apples. Now I'm going to quick draw out the 24. 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I can count this a couple ways. I can just go ahead and count the tens and the ones, or I can say, this is almost 10. It's just missing 1. And I'm going to circle around to know that I made a new 10, right? So this is part of this, and I'm not going to count it as an extra 1. The only one that I have now is this one. So let's go ahead and count it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 41. And my answer is 41. If you need to pause the video and spend some extra time on that, go ahead. All right. Now let's look over and let's do what we call new tens above. This is what we call this method. Your parents might talk about it and say, oh, it's carrying the 1. Same thing. It just is a different way to say it. So I'm going to start by adding the tens, the ones together. So I'm going to start with the 7, and I'm going to add on 4 more ones. Go ahead and underline the 7 so you know where you're starting, and then draw out the 4. Some of you might just know what 7 plus 4 is, or you might start with 7 in your head and count on 4 with your fingers, whichever way works best for your brain. So let's count it together. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have the number 11. It's a 2-digit number, and I can't put it here. I can only put 1 digit in each place. So I'm going to take the 1 from the ones place and put it here. I'm going to take this extra 10, just like we did before, and put it on top. You go ahead and do the same thing. All right, so now we're going to add the tens together. Are you ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, right? But it's 40 is 4 tens, so I'm going to put the 4 here, and then I got the 41 for the 41 apples. So this might work really well for your brain right now. That might totally make sense to you. This one might work really well for your brain. This might make total sense to you. Whichever one works best for your brain, that's the one you're going to use when you do the homework and remembering page. But let's do one more together. Let's say this time Sarah picks 31 apples and David picks 53 apples. Go ahead and write it horizontally. You can pause the video while you do that. All right, now I'm going to write it to catch up with you. So I'm going to write 31 plus 53 equals something. Now let's write it vertically, remembering to line up the ones place and the tens place. Do it with me. So I'm going to start with 31 plus 53. I lined up my ones, I lined up my tens, equals something. Good. Now I'm going to have you pause the video and draw out the 31. Go ahead and do that. Quick draw the 31. All right, great job. I went ahead and did the quick draw of the 31, 10, 20, 31. Now pause the video and quick draw out the 53. All right, I did the same thing. I drew out my 53. And I'm looking over here. Do you think I'm going to make a new 10 this time? No, I'm not gonna because I don't have enough, but I can go ahead and count them. Are you ready? Count them with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, pause, 81, 82, 83, 84. And my answer is 84. Go ahead and put your answer in. Good job. All right, now let's go over here and let's do the addition. So I'm going to add, I want you to go ahead and add together the ones place. So add 1 plus 3. Go ahead and do that. And if you're like me, you got 4. When I added the 1 and 3, do I have an extra 10 to put on top? No, because 4 is less than 10. So now I'm going to add the tens. I have 3 tens and 5 tens. So 5, 6, 7, 8 tens gives me that 84. All right. So first graders, attached to this you're going to find a homework and remembering sheet. The homework sheet says solve with numbers and with circles and sticks and circles. I want you to use either one of these, whichever one of these methods works best for your brain. And then the remembering sheet is remembering, and you'll be able to get that done pretty quickly. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.